What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a Knights of the Old Republic remake and why it seems like this is the most likely time we could ever get it. Now, this is obviously coming off the back of last week of just being the week of everything, not just Star Wars news, but definitely with Star Wars, I mean, we got a lot, right? We got Lucasfilm Games, the new name, and then we also got Ubisoft making a game. We had a lot of inadvertent confirmation in that kind of post about Ubisoft where it's like, hey, EA's still working on stuff. They're going to be announcing stuff. Lucasfilm Games has more stuff they're going to be announcing just in general. And, I said, just to kind of give you guys a precursor to this, I had said that, with the contract ending in 2023, I believe what the legal things in the contract is that the game can't release until that contract is done. So, like, the Ubisoft game can't come out until the EA exclusivity deal is over. But that doesn't mean that they can't give out these properties to whoever they want, right, and have them make games to get ready for that period. So, you look at Knights of the Old Republic, and so there's a couple ways of this working, by the way, right? Now, we have to remember that this was made in Bioware, right? Casey Hudson was actually the director of this game. Now, he just left. He literally left. Remember, he left. He actually left 2 times in all, but he just recently left in early December. So he's gone. He was the man behind it originally. Obviously, a lot of other people had something to do with it, but the game, I really think, has the best shot to happen over the next little while. Now, does it happen from EA? Well, what's interesting about it is I don't know how. This is honestly just like a question. I don't know how the licensing works with the name. So BioWare made it. EA right now has it. So EA, as of right now, I feel like is the only one that could do something with it. But does Lucasfilm Games have it? Could they and this would be quite a punch to the face, honestly, to EA. Could Lucasfilm Games say, you know what, we want this game back. We want either a sequel or we want an actual sequel, or we want a remake or a remaster or whatever. We want it, but we don't want EA to do it. We want somebody else to do it. Can they take that name and the game and give it to somebody else? That's a question I pose to the universe. That's a question I pose to you guys, and I do not know the answer to that. I feel like that would be true, but yet again, I don't know. Maybe EA is the only one that's allowed to touch it because of BioWare and because of all that stuff. But BioWare wasn't even owned by EA back then, right? So I really don't know how that stuff works. But look, again, you look at the landscape, and this is exactly the reason why I believe this game is looking really likely. If you want to say, okay, only EA can give it to you, fine. Well, there's just so happens to be Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Now, what does that have to do with anything? That is really their first. Now, they've done it before. They did it for Need for Speed, but this is their first really big jump into a collection, like a remaster of a collection of games. Okay, they've never really done this before, and so I think Mass Effect truly is going to give them a lot of confidence and a lot of just ideas to give us so much more. I made a video a few weeks ago about Dead Space. I truly do believe a Dead Space remaster will probably come from Mass Effect Legendary Edition doing really well. They'll say, hey, do we have any other trilogies that were received really well that we could make even more money off of, but without expanding them currently? Oh, Dead Space, and they can go with that. But you look at, so there's that. I mean, that immediately, I think, if they go through their portfolio, they eventually get to Knights of the Old Republic. That's reason number 1. Reason number 2, you could always say remakes and remasters they're a popular thing to happen. Technically, reason number 3 is, remember, there was actually a rumor, a leak last year. It was actually January of 2020, where somebody, now we don't necessarily know how well his track record is, but he did say that they are looking to remake this game. That was a thing happening internally at EA, thanks to Jedi Fallen Order and thanks to all that stuff. So if you want to believe that, now it's been a full year, nothing's happened yet, so we'll have, could he be wrong? Definitely, he could absolutely be wrong, but if he's right, this could maybe be already a thing that's happening. Remember also, there was a lot of rumors, now I don't know what the heck happened, but remember, it was either Kathleen Kennedy or somebody, they were talking about a studio opening with the idea of doing something like this. So I don't know if they, at some point over the last year or so, I know that's very, very vague and that really doesn't give you guys anything, but I swear to you, there was a story out that there was a new studio kind of created that's doing something, that could be doing something, I should say, something like this. So it's very possible there's just a studio behind the scenes that we don't even know, that EA just controls, but we don't even know about, that's making a remake of this game. And by the way, I really do think it has to be a remake. I mean, they could of course make a sequel, but I think if you do remake versus remaster for a game that came out in 2003, a game that I think a remake makes the most sense. Okay, and then you look at Star Wars. So the final thing is Star Wars. You know, EA themselves literally just said a week ago that they're doing actually multiple Star Wars games. So the thing is, I know people had said about the Star Wars Battlefront 3 thing. Hopefully by the time you guys see this video, I've already made a video talking about Battlefront 3. There are a lot of signs that do point to Battlefront 3 happening like right now, like them making it. So I do think Battlefront 3 is probably one they're alluding to. Obviously Jedi Fallen Order 2 is one they're alluding to, and so that makes 2 right there. So when you say there's multiple projects, that, you know, that does satisfy the word multiple, okay? But if you, or maybe Battlefront 3 isn't happening, you know what I mean? And maybe it's just Fallen Order. So it's like, okay, well, what's the second game? Do you have a third game? Like, how many Star Wars games are we talking here? Is Knights of the Old Republic one of them? And you know, we're approaching the end, really, of this EA exclusivity deal, and I really think that we would either get it within the next couple of years, or I don't know. I just feel like a game with this much popularity, that was so popular and still can like do things right now, and especially if you do a remake. I mean, it would be one of the biggest things on planet Earth. It truly would. I really don't see how you don't do something like this. You know what I mean? Whether, again, if it's EA or when they lose the rights, or that maybe it's that. Maybe EA owns the rights right now, but then Lucasfilm Games will be able to give it away later. I don't know. I mean, I feel like, okay, because they published it through like Lucasfilm or Lucasfilm Arts, whatever it was called back then. So that's gotta mean that they own, that Lucasfilm, they own the rights to the new, you know, the Knights of the Old Republic. You know what I mean? So I really don't know how it works. That's probably something that we should probably figure out to make it a little bit more clear, right? But I really do think the odds are looking very high, again, with the remakes, with the remasters that have been happening in the gaming industry, with EA testing the waters on them themselves, with them saying there'll be Star Wars games to come, with Star Wars games gonna be leaving them exclusively in just a few years. All of these things are very good signs, and if we were to ever get this game to be brought back, it would be this era we are just starting right now. If it doesn't happen now, if it doesn't happen within like the next 5 years, clearly they want this thing dead. Okay, that'll be my own personal opinion. So let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Do you think this game will ever come back? Do you think EA is working on it? Do you think maybe it'll take a few more years and somebody else can work on it? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And I do a brand new video every single day on this channel, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's.